Advisor. Advice. Vice. Pour me my vice over ice. Unfinished fam, soon to be Dr. Jones. Call me Chelsea. We're now acquainted. I want to share some advice on something way more important than writing your dissertation. Honestly, it may be the most important and deciding factor of your PhD, and that is choosing your research advisor. Y'all, I'm going to give you all the tea on this whole PhD advisor situation. All the things you ought to know before choosing an advisor, what their role is during your PhD program, and how to build and manage boundaries with them. I am contractually unable to start talking about important stuff until I inform you to subscribe to this here channel and to follow me on the social medias. According to Section 18, Clause 82 of this contract, please refer to my handles. Thank you. Wow. This topic is a heavy one for me. I entered my program completely blind, like no glasses, no contacts, nothing. I had no idea what was going on, which is why I need to make this video. So, if you recall, I made this channel and these videos for Chelsea circa 2K17. If there was one video that I could send back to her, this right here would be the one. Straight to the meat and potatoes. During your PhD journey, your PhD advisor is effectively your supervisor. They are the person that you're going to be reporting to about your research, also making them somebody that you're going to be spending a good amount of time talking to and asking for advice. Advice on your research, professional development topics, and depending on your relationship, personal advice too. This sometimes can feel like a mentorship, and if it does, then that's wonderful. However, them being your advisor doesn't automatically make them a mentor. Technically, the bare minimum that your research advisor is expected to do is act as the chair to your research committee, meaning that they're the ones who decide when you're ready to defend your thesis or dissertation, and that their opinion of your work holds weight with the other committee members. This opinion is often the deciding factor if you pass or fail your defense. If you haven't gotten the hint, who you choose as your PhD advisor can make or break your experience as a PhD student. And if you're in a bad way with your PhD advisor, it can be difficult to get out of the situation. Honestly, you can think of the student-advisor relationship kind of like a marriage. There has to be a good understanding of your expectations. You've got to respect each other's boundaries. And if you want out, it'll be kind of like a divorce with slightly less paperwork. I'll be sure to make a video about the advisor divorce process. I know that can be tricky and stressful to say the least, and not many people like to talk about it. So leave me a comment if you want to know how I was able to split from my advisor after 2 years with as little collateral damage as possible. Let's chat about how to choose your advisor so you're less likely to have to divorce them. You should approach this with the mindset that they are interviewing to work with you. Stop. Is this laughable to you? Because it was to me. Woo. Well, it shouldn't be. I'm being serious. Going into your program, you might feel like you're still a little wet behind the ears when it comes to research and need someone to take you on like a little lost puppy. This is not the reality. The fact is that you were skilled enough to get into this PhD program, and they knew that you were an asset when they admitted you. That being said, you're just in the training phases of a new position, but you have control over what training you receive and who is your training supervisor, aka your advisor. So you need to treat the process of finding and choosing an advisor like you would if you were interviewing somebody to work for your brand. The first thing you should do is reflect on the healthy working relationships that you've had in the past. Write down aspects of these relationships that you believe made them good and form questions based on these aspects that you can ask your advisor applicants. For example, I'm more receptive to straightforwardness and positive verbal reinforcement. So a couple of questions that I could ask is, if I fell behind on a deadline, how would you respond? And how do you reward your students for their hard work? What and how they respond can give you an idea of what it might be like working with them. Also, take the time to interview some of their graduated students. Hindsight is always 20/20, and the perspective of their current advisees might be skewed or coerced since they're still in the war zone. Still take the time to talk to some of these current students. They may be biased, but you can decipher what's most accurate by cross-analyzing what they say with what the former students say. You can ask the advisor hopeful for their former students' information, or you should be able to find it on their CV, likely posted on the university website. It might be ideal to find the information yourself though, because they might give you their former faves information. A major point to debrief on is communication. This has to be at the forefront of your discussions, not how will we communicate? That's something to chat about too, but more vital is how often you want to communicate and when is most appropriate. Again, I'm impartial to advisors who respond back in a timely manner. That sounds very vague, but let me give you an example. I was prepping an email response to a journal editor and I needed the feedback from my co-authors, my advisors, ASAP. After requesting their feedback, both of my advisors responded back within 15 to 20 minutes. Communication is the foundation of relationships. If you don't have a solid mutual understanding of this foundation, then expect the structure to crumble. You know what? I probably should have told you how to find potential advisors before I started talking about interviewing them. I'm gonna back it up a bit. This part isn't really all that difficult. Most universities list their faculty and their research interests. You can use this as a tool to do a quick stalking session to find out if you're interested in using some of the same methods that they use, or you can check their publications to see their network. By becoming someone's advisee, you're supposed to gain access to their network too. I was able to connect with my current research advisors through my previous research advisor. This also allowed me to find my research topic. After you've identified and chosen your advisor and discussed expectations, what you need to do now is build boundaries and maintain them. When that imposter feeling begins to welt up inside of you, you begin to become a bit more submissive to other people's ideas and throw your boundaries to the wind. When this happens, you'll begin to think it's okay for your all-knowing advisor to call or text you at 1 a.m. in the morning asking for results. Boo. In case you're thinking,
what's wrong with that? I'm up anyways and I want to show I'm a hard worker.
That's not okay. It's not. My friends don't even call me at that hour. They know better, and so should your advisors. No matter how difficult or minor it may feel, when you feel like your advisors are crossing the line that you've put in place, you need to address it. This can be as simple as not responding until normal functioning hours and emailing them,
I'm asleep at 1 a.m. so I won't respond. I'll have the results to you as soon as I can. Also, the best way to contact me is via email.
This lets them know, try Jesus, not you. And it also starts a paper trail of you asking them to stay behind that line. If you think that your advisor is making some questionable requests, it's okay to talk to somebody you trust for advice. Emphasis on trust. Because your advisor can act as the gatekeeper to your graduate success, you want to avoid situations where their ego can deter your progress. Yes, I know, this sounds
terrible and incredibly passive.
But this is how academia chooses to operate. I say choose because they have the tools and resources to do better by graduate students, but they continue to allow bad behavior and practices to continue. Anyways, I digress. A word of advice. Find a mentor within your program, within the graduate school, and outside of the university. This way, you can have a source of information and support about your program, options and rights as a graduate student at your university, and somebody who's completely detached from the school that can give you perspective and support on the situation. As important as it is for your boundaries to be respected, you need to respect your advisor's boundaries too. Yes, they're working for the brand that is you, but they're people too. Just like you wouldn't want them to hit you up during your Netflix and chill, you shouldn't do that to them either. You may have more collateral hinging on the outcome of your program, but they're invested too. By nature, your advisor is also your research partner. Whatever you publish that's related to the research that you're working on as their student becomes a publication for them too. If they're not tenured yet, this could be a big help for their tenure package and requirements. If they are tenured, it just looks really good on their CV. Finding an advisor shouldn't be taken lightly. I'm typically a go with the flow kind of person when it comes to making choices like this, but this one backfired on me. Please Put in the effort and seriousness that it takes to find an advisor. It is okay if it takes you a little longer to find one. What matters is that you're a good match. All right, I said what I had to say, so I'ma head out now. Just kidding. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video. I'll catch you in the next one.